Hello, friends. I am Dattatreya Tapkir. Uh, I was going to talk about mad wisdom of spirituality. You would say spirituality has its own wisdom. It's okay. But why do I call it as mad wisdom? Yes, I do call it as mad wisdom because there are some reasons. Outwardly, a spiritual person may look like mad. Of course, I am talking about genuine spiritual persons, not pseudo spiritual persons, not those who are just making show of their spirituality. Let us talk about those real, sincere seekers of spirituality, real, sincere seekers of truth, those who have got real spiritual intelligence with them, those who are following real spiritual sadhana, real spiritual practices, and are getting some good results. Those who are getting certain good results, good experiences, going deeper into it, encountering something that is genuine in it. Those who are not stuck up with only words, with only outward phenomenon. Those who are not jumbled in only words and only outward philosophy. But those who are ready and sincere enough to understand the real truth in each and every spiritual aspect. Such persons, they go on becoming wiser. Of course, spirituality gives you a different kind of wisdom. But normal people, common people, those who haven't understood what spirituality is, or those who are just making show of, or those who are, entangled into the wrong spirituality, pseudo spirituality, false spirituality, will never come to understand this. Our mind is always, after logical thinking, a clear-cut, logical, rational thinking, so-called, and then there are certain things which a real spiritual person, when he goes beyond this logical outwork, this logical framework, and then some of his things may look like mad. And that's why I call that as mad spirituality. For example, take a simple example of concept of God. Can you ever explain the concept of God in a very, very logical terms? In a very scientific terms? Can you explain that concept of God on a very experimental basis? Externally observable basis? Never. And yet, the real spiritual practitioner, he knows in his own mind, in his own being, he comes to know what does he mean by God. His God is not dependent upon so-called God conceived by others. And that's the problem. For others, this concept of God might be related to a particular idol, a particular place of worship, a particular image. Could be temple, mosque, church, or all these shrines. And then, to the person whom I am referring as a really spiritually minded person, for him, his concept of God is very, very special. It's very, very unique. It is within his own mind. He is experiencing it. He very easily comes to know what the concept of God is. And then, in this kind of wisdom, people may find him as mad. Because he will not follow your rituals. A really spiritual person will not believe in all kinds of rituals. However, although he might be knowing the importance of such rituals in the initial stages, but once he goes ahead, he is never worried about all those rituals. And then people think that, oh, this man doesn't follow rituals, he doesn't follow the traditions, he doesn't believe in the thing in which we do believe, and he has his own fanciful ideas about God. And he thinks about his God, he has his own different imaginations, different hypotheses regarding God. Because that is his own inner world of experience, which every real spiritual person imagines, which every real spiritual person experiences after imagination. But that for others it becomes a mad wisdom. Though it's a very, very wise thing, it becomes mad wisdom for others. If I give you an idea, that think about something that is never born. Oh, very, very important spiritual idea, spiritual concept, spiritual reality. Your mind cannot conceive this, can we? something which has no beginning, because our mind is habituated to think about all the things which have certain beginning. How there can be something which has no beginning? And if it has no beginning, then why does it exist at all? When it exists, it simply means that it must have some beginning. But how there can be something which had no beginning at all? Wonderful. It comes into the mad wisdom. Because it is a question of understanding from within. You cannot define it in outer terms. But you do understand what that is, which is without beginning. Similarly, without end. Again, mad wisdom comes here. You are wise enough to understand what has no end. Can you imagine that? No end? No end? No end at all. It everlasting, continuing, never dying at all the time existent. Can there be any principle, if not a person or a thing, but can there be any principle, anything? We don't know whether it is matter or energy or something beyond than that. But spiritual person, in his own sadhana, in his own spiritual practice, he understands, he perceives these truths. He perceives these intuitional truths. These are not based on any perception, outer sensory perception. These are not based on any inferences of logical inferences, but this knowledge is based on the intuition that he knows it. He thoroughly knows it. That yes, there is a principle, there happens to be a principle which has no beginning and no end. What was before the beginning? If you find some beginning, then what was before that? Again, if there is something, then what was again before that? In this way, the chain will continue. And similarly about end also, if there is an end to something, what will happen after the end? If there is an end to the entire thing, entire existence, then what will be happening after that? Mind can't conceive it. But the cosmic principle, the God, the Lord, the universal intelligence, the infinite intelligence, the Paramatma or the God has no beginning, no end. He is the beginning, he is the end, and he has no beginning and he has no end. And that becomes a mad wisdom. If you understand this from within your heart, from within your being, if your own existence, your own being gives you that perception, that realization happens to be the wisdom, which becomes again mad wisdom, because nobody is going to believe these ideas. There are many more. There are many more ideas like this. Expansion of universe, this entire universe, expanding universe, the concept of time, the concept of no beginning, the concept of no end, the concept of death as well. The real spirituality, your real spiritual practice will let you know what death is, which perhaps even if you see, observe outward deaths, external deaths of other people, throughout your life you have been seeing that. But still that will not give you an idea of death, what it is. When you experience this deeper meditation and when you go deeper into your spirituality, if you have the realization of your own soul, then for the first thing happens that death becomes an illusion. You are not afraid of it. That's what spiritual great persons, masters say. They say that death is an illusion and you are never afraid of death at all. And there is no need to be worried about it at all. They even say that you cannot imagine your own death. Again, I drop all these things into the mad spirituality. This is mad wisdom. It is wisdom. But for outer people, those who are non-spiritual, for them it becomes a mad thing. And that's the problem everywhere. They can't understand what the spiritual persons are telling about. Can you ever imagine your own death? Tell me. You go deeper and deeper. Just feel, just visualize, just imagine that you are dead. What will be the actual expression of that? You are dead means, is it imagining your own dead body? Or is it imagining what other people would be doing after that? Or imagining your photograph put on the wall? No. You yourself imagine that you are not there. How can you perceive, how can you imagine from the bottom of your heart that you are not? Simply you are not. You are not existing. Our so-called existence which is there right now, it is finished. It is gone. Can you imagine it? Try. That trying itself will become a very nice meditation, I tell you. It's a very wonderful meditation to go on deeper and deeper and feel that you are dead. Don't visualize your dead body. Don't visualize what your relatives will be doing after your death. Just feel. No realization, no imagination. Just feel that you, what you are inside, your own awareness, your own consciousness, it's not there. You can't imagine this. This realization of myself being in no existence at all, that time you'll find that it can never imagine this. The person who imagines this, who tries to imagine his death, is there. It remains always there. So you cannot imagine, you can never imagine your absence, that you are totally gone. You will never imagine it. That is the spiritual truth. But all the spiritual truths, as I said, are mad wisdom. What is again mad wisdom? Well, in our life there is joy and sorrow. And spirituality says that these two are, just the different phases, one coming after the other. So look at equal vision. Sukha dukhe same krutva, labha labho jaya jayo, as it is said in Gita. So equal vision, balanced mind regarding joy and sorrow. Wonderful. Come on, try it. Just try it. Just imagine, just visualize. Use all your techniques and methods to catch this idea, to catch this concept, to digest this concept from inner heart. Try to do it. Again, you will enter into that mad spirituality. Yes, this man, I'm trying to tell you, that become mad for this. If you are, calling yourself as a very wise person, very logical person, very straightforward person, very systematic person, you will not go into deeper of this reality of spirituality. Because all these spiritual truths are beyond mind, they are beyond your intelligence, they are beyond your logic. And the intuitional knowledge, which is inspired through your own meditation, real meditation I mean, genuine meditation I mean, then only these things you try to understand. The creation of the world, the expansion of the whole universe, the origin of life, the life principle right from a very small cell to the complex organism like human beings. Then the question of your memory, how much you can remember, how deeper and how far, how long can you go into your memory, what can you remember. All these things would take you to the wisdom which is given by spirituality, but which is a mad wisdom. Mad in the sense, it has that wisdom itself also has no beginning and no end. That wisdom has no limitations at all, my dear friends. That wisdom is totally wonderful. It's kind of divine wisdom, we can call it. And therefore, the person who is ready to go beyond, jump beyond his narrow limitations of mental thinking in a particular framework, who is ready to go beyond, jump beyond, he will only understand what this kind of mad spirituality is. What is the real meaning of this mad wisdom of spirituality? Do you really think that we know the answers to all such questions? Do you really think that the answers to all questions can be given in the words? If you are on the spiritual path, then this time must come. This time should come when you will understand that every question can be answered, but it does not mean that it can be answered through words, vocabulary or language. Can you ever imagine that something can be there which goes beyond words, which cannot be expressed in words? Or do you just think that it is just imagination, it's just a poetic imagination, this is a way of saying only? What is your own opinion about it? Do you think that all these spiritual persons, all those realized souls, that is just their style, they're the stunt of speaking like that? It is indescribable. The experience of ultimate truth is indescribable. It goes beyond words. No language can describe it. No mind can perceive it. Do you think that these are only linguistic phrases? No, my dear friends. That is wisdom. That is real wisdom. But that part is very important. And that's why we looked at that wisdom as a mad wisdom. And I do expect this mad wisdom. I do invite this mad wisdom. I feel like those real spiritual speakers should become mad like this. Try to go deeper into it. Leave the shores of all this. Leave these limitations now. Jump beyond the limitations. Be ready to be mad like this. Mad means, I think, this mad is a very crude word, but what I mean by mad is to become passionate about it. a very, very deep, real passion for spiritual truth. Because whenever you are only enjoying your verbal level, linguistic level, language level, word level, you would be always remaining aloof from this. But when you go deeper into it, try to go beyond the words, try to go beyond the language, try to go beyond mind and logic, then you would come to know the realm of spiritual experiences. And that becomes your own knowledge, means you yourself are the testimony for it. This is again one more mad thing, because you can't prove it to others. That's the fun. That's the strange thing in that. That particular experience becomes so real than real. It is the reality of the reality. It becomes so real for you. It goes beyond the sense organs. All these words which have been there in the scriptures find their own meaning in this experience. You would for the first time in your life come to know that, well, there is a meaning to all these words. When you say without beginning, without end, when you say omnipotent, what do you mean by that? So outwardly again madness. Omnipotent, God is omnipotent, God is omniscient, God is omnipresent. How can something be present at one time everywhere? How can there be something which is working at the atomic and subatomic level and at the same time is working at the universal and cosmos level? It is, my dear. It is there. That's why I call this as a mad wisdom. Because this wisdom cannot be caught. This cannot be caught with our narrow limitations of our logical brain. That doesn't mean that you have to be illogical. You will have to start from logic. You will have to start from so-called wisdom. You will have to start from so-called rational, logical, scientific, experimental, empirical wisdom, which is given by the outer world, which is given by our society, which is given by our education. I am not against that. No spiritual person is against that, remember well. But that's only the beginning. When your own spiritual sadhana, spiritual practice takes you ahead, you have to encounter all these ideas, their real meanings, the real concepts of them. Then you have to go deeper and deeper and deeper, and then find the wisdom, the diamond of that wisdom, the gem of that wisdom, which for the outer world can be a mad thing. You'll have to discover this of your own. There is no explanation anywhere. For example, a simple task I can give you. Okay, have you ever seen how do you sleep? Have you ever experienced what is the mechanism of the sleep? Don't read. Don't go to search it on internet, or don't read the books at all. I am telling about your own sleep. So many times you have slept every night. Have you ever observed what happens actually to you, to your body, to your mind, to your awareness, to your consciousness while entering into sleep? What happens that time? Can't say. Can't tell. So there are many more such questions. I request all of you, those spiritual practitioners, whatever may be your way of practicing it, your affirmations will be there, your prayers are there, your rituals are there, your worships is there, your intellectual study is there. But always remember, our ultimate aim is to reach to that wisdom which is a mad wisdom, which is illogical, beyond logic. Instead of calling it illogical, I would prefer to call it as beyond logic wisdom, which is based on intuition. So start with the perception, sensory perception, go to the inference, logical inference, and then have the jump, the last step, and go into the intuition. And that intuition will tell you what the truth is. At least it will give you the glimpse of that. I don't mean that this is a very short way process and immediately it's an overnight thing and you would get the self-realization and become enlightened. No. It is a long journey anyway. But this journey itself is wonderful. This journey is very interesting. This journey is like, you will have your own joy, your own happiness. You will create your own world. You will be happy for no reason. Again, madness. This is the criteria of real spirituality. You will be extremely happy for no reason, because for the outer world, so-called wise world, so-called world with a wisdom, for them every joy has to have some reason, has to have certain cause behind it. And as much is the cause, that much will be the joy, the extent of joy for them. But you will come to know for the first time that immeasurable, tremendous joy, which cannot be measured at all. You will feel it, you will experience it without any reason. There will be no reason at all. You will find the solutions to your problems without any reason. You will automatically find the solutions from your problems. From some unknown depth, those answers would come to you. Now, what kind of wisdom is this? You would have your own all problems of life and all so-called intellectual problems which have been troubling to you so far. You will get so easy answers to them. Your heart will open them up. This whole existence will reveal. It will open its secrets to you. And you will be so happy with that. You will not be afraid of death. You will find joy and sorrow equal. You would understand all people together. You would have tremendous empathy for everybody. You will have got a great compassion for all others. You will find each and every moment as a new moment. You will find joy, ever new joy, ever fresh joy. The concept of boredom will totally vanish from your life. You will be never bored about it. There are many more things. And these things, I do call them as mad spirituality. So I hope, my friends, that may your spiritual practice go deeper and deeper, and may you experience the thing that I was talking about today, the mad wisdom of spirituality. Thank you, friends.